Order June 11th at 8 o'clock. Roll call. Everyone's present except for John.
Nope, just Spencer.
Just Spencer. John's on now?
Yep.
All right. Approval of minutes for the May 14th.
Move to approve May 14th minutes of proceedings.
Second.
Second.
Any additions or corrections? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Public comment? Nothing from me. On to Austin.
Morning, everyone. This meeting will mostly be a recap of seeing how we're sitting after about a week and a half of new changes that we've been cooking up and that went into place on 6/2/2025. Financials, our rural service on the in-town routes, touching base on ridership and any questions. 2025 financials, coming in around 1,900 to the good right now. So sitting good that way.
So does summertime come in better because you got Stout is gone, but yet you got guys doing other stuff, or does it kind of go downhill?
For what we have for kind of help around the office and stuff? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a lot of drivers that work for other companies during the summer that are very part-time in the summer. They work just enough to not have to pay in more for their, if they have a dental plan with us or whatever. They work one day every payroll periods, and then others, a few are stick around the whole year, and some stay close to 40 hours a week. So it's nice that our drivers give us that flexibility.
They got a little break then too, but.
Yeah.
But do we lose money in the summertime then with they only working like maybe one day per pay period or not, or is it kind of?
For the income that we're bringing in at transit. So Stout pays us just twice annually. So that's just on a contracted service for theirs.
Okay.
The city subsidy pays us quarterly. And then the ridership mostly comes from the doorstop and community route, which are going the same hours, if not more hours during the summer.
Okay.
So that sits just fine, sits good. So that helps. Yeah, most of our income comes to that door-to-door service, and that gets, we actually have a little bit more availability through the summer because people are riding that more with the better weather, stuff like that. Our rural service, we're all excited. Our first rider was going to be up in Wheeler first Tuesday that we set it up, but then she had a medical thing that happened, so she pushed back to next month. So then we didn't have anybody signed up yesterday. So it will be a trickle with these coming in. So as we saw on the community route and the trickle of ridership numbers that came in for months after we redid things. I think the best is yet to come on this, but with that, I've really changed what we said for how long that we can provide these rides at no cost to the rider for, trying to get that information out. With ADRC's money that they have allocated to help out with this project, it's going to be free rides through the summer, most likely through the end of the year. We think of 200 round trips that this can, from the funding that we have, and even if we're doing 4 rides a day, 8 total one ways on a day, once a week, it should be able to get through the end of the year. So I think that should really help.
That'd be good. Yeah.
I'm assuming that no riders means no cost, because it's not like we run the bus on a route if nobody's there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's a service where they set it up, we go bring them back. And that's when the payment is triggered.
Yep, that's when this really shines.
Okay.
versus the previous fixed routes that were going into Colfax or Elk Mountain,
Right.
stuff like that. You know, another thing to keep in our minds, I think with this is how can we expand on this? A big part of that volunteer rider program that was initially set up is picking people up in these areas, but taking them out of this county. And if this is still a trickle, how can we expand on it to help out more with the resources that we have? And if our schedule allows, you know, what would it take to expand this to pick them up in these cities and take them to at least Eau Claire? Or something, or getting them into town and then a second one-way trip gets to Eau Claire and just links up with their bus and the rider can figure out where they need to go through the Eau Claire transit system. But just something we could keep brainstorming that with, if the calls aren't coming in or the space allows just from the low volume of calls, how can we expand on this?
Where have we advertised those?
I did a big push on Facebook. We were featured in the Leader Telegram in Eau Claire, the Volume 1 magazine, News 18, Colfax Messenger, and a few other municipality email lists, I believe, that ADRC holds. So the word is out there.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook
Okay.
a couple
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
times.
Put a good push on that. We got about 70 shares alone, and that's all organic traction, not paid. And then the $50 or so that I paid for promotion for the month went a long ways too, with a lot of views. But if any other, you know, we brought up putting some bulletins in some of the local churches in these municipalities. If there's any other ideas that people have too on expanding, but I think the word is out there. I just think it needs to be tried out. I think you know, once they understand it, you know, they might be nervous about using it. Once they use it, once they think, okay, this works pretty well. So yeah, and I think word of mouth goes a long ways once riders from those areas use it.
Austin, can I give a little feedback? The message got out all the way to a city called Eureka, California. I haven't heard from this person in 10 years. This is Juliana Lucchese. She worked with Kent. She was a student guard member, worked with Kent 14 years ago. When DET merged into Dunn County Transit and developed the Stout Route. So she's like, I saw this. This is wonderful news. I'm going to forward to, she's the assistant city manager of Eureka, California. I'm going to forward to our transit manager because they like to say rural transit is not possible, but Dunn County has proven you can at least try. So I think that's quite the feedback from someone that was involved with Dunn County Transit a long time ago.
That's cool. From the other side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was in school here. School too.
Yeah.
So you think it works,
Mhm.
you think it works out pretty good? Like that 1 day per month? So then a person, hey, I can call in for a doctor's appointment whenever, I got a lot of time to do it. So you're all set up. Is that one of the main reasons?
Yes, and obviously this isn't gonna hit everybody's
Yeah.
needs with it being 1 day a month, but with it taking, when I schedule a dental appointment these days, I can't get in until May or June,
Yeah.
July, when I'm calling in February. So if you plan ahead and it, you know, all the boxes gets checked,
You got a chance.
yes. It at least gives you an option. A lot of times people that call in these areas from the volunteer driver program, they need to get to Mayo Eau Claire. But could that appointment maybe be done at Mayo Menominee for that CT scan? True, like when I was going through my stuff, I couldn't get into Mayo Eau Claire to even see some specialist until April 29th, and I called in February. Then I got down into Rochester, Mayo in 2 days. So they're really tied down in a lot of these local areas with that. But if all the stars align for your needs, we can get you into town.
Is there a potential contract with Mayo for Mayo to Mayo? nominate Eau Claire.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. If you highlighted 3 or 4 entities in Eau Claire, I mean, if you want to expand someday, obviously the medical field being one of them. Where you just offer service directly right straight to that door or whatever, you know. Yeah.
Yep, I mean, Mayo
Some explore-
Rochester has their own shuttle service just for their different
Yeah.
cases, so it's just crazy. I'll write that down. Thank you.
Mayo Rochester is also a major funder of their park and ride transit system. But it's basically just to get all their employees into work.
Mhm.
Right.
It's amazing.
It's a city within a city. Okay. Community route update, all we did was switch City Hall to be after Mayo Clinic. We are moving this bus shelter that's at CDTC for where its location isn't serving us, driving right up to the front door, coming back out. We're actually driving up to the front door of Dunn County Government Center now every hour. So it's not just a flag stop out at the end of the road. I think that'll create even more traction. Driver didn't show up for work the other day, so I drove that new community route for 4 hours in the morning. I dropped 4 or 5 people off just that morning alone there. So I think just it being not just a flag stop will really help our exposure here. And we're the ones running it. I think we should stop at our own facility. So, okay. Another thing, huge for students and community members, faculty that works on campus. Now we're stopping at UW Library 30 minutes after the hour, as well as the top of the hour. So now students don't have to either take the Stealth bus to Red Cedar just to get back to the clock tower to take the bus north at 33 after. You can, or ride the bus from the top of the hour, 47 minutes around just to go north. You can get on it right at 30 minutes after the hour to go north. And we did not eliminate that clock tower stop. So not really any knowledge needs to be gained from understanding how the route works. It still stops at clock tower. So
Before it goes north or?
yep. Yeah. So it used to stop at clock tower at 33 minutes on the old route, and it still stops up there after library. And even just eliminating this figure 8.
So how are you getting north at the clock tower? Are you making rights or are you making a left? side?
We're doing our same second half of what we did before, but just making this left turn here and left turn there eliminated, got it freed up enough. This definitely, the way it goes now, we have to come back over to Elm, up to Oak and back. It's not coming all the way down Wilson. Dave from the city, you know, he mentioned how many people like getting off at Oak Container, which I agree. But right now, with us taking Wolski Bay Road, this works perfect. Because of so many people getting on the bus there. They don't have to get on Broadway. But right now, with that Pine Street, that construction's done. But we need to go all the way back out to Elm, out to Oak, and back up. So it's doable the way it's working, but it's not that efficient for us making the rest of the route pretty darn efficient. So ideally we'd stay up Wilson all the way, or we'd stay on Broadway up Tainer like we used to do. Or we just keep it going the way it is.
Is there still a bench on Broadway by the library? Cause
Yep.
I had, well, at graduation, I had a very strong support for moving that back over to the safer Wolski Bay Road spot by the library.
They won't do that. The library doesn't want it in front of their facility with looks. So, but us just moving, no, we're moving the bus shelter
Yeah,
to that location, but it'd be where the bench is now, lengthwise facing south. And you'd see the bus coming, you'd get on at Wolski Bay Road. They don't want it on their side of the road. Dave asked them to do that if it was by that bear, that little, you know.
Yeah.
I was a library board member, that's I must have missed that meeting.
Okay, I don't know who we talked to,
Yeah,
but
I don't
if
miss
you
many
wanna,
meetings, I'll just say
It
that.
seems logical to have, I mean, I would, as a library person, I would want a bus easy for kids and whatnot to be on it, on that side of the road, not the other. side.
Agreed. The only thing that helps is that crosswalk there, but ideally it would be on that side of the road. So if there's more to come on this, let me know. Cause it's not moved.
Don't put anchors down yet, that's all.
Okay. I'd love to leave the bus going up Wilson, but, right now, that's what we're doing.
And we're-
Okay. This just reiterates, we added, that and ridership, right in the, top third tier, the door stop in Red Cedar, community ridership had the best May ever. On the main community Monday to Friday as well as on the Saturday. Stout route had the best May ever. Obviously, this is the first year that we have those 2 extra days. I think we had it in the fall, we had it in spring, but still good to see that.
So do you have a hard time staying on track? Cause you got a lot of, places where you stop at a certain time. Is it hard to stay on track or not too bad?
The community route, it depends on how many people flag the bus that stops that we don't normally stop at, but I drove it for 4 hours and I wasn't behind. Picking people up randomly. I even tried to go out to the judicial center to see if we could somehow squeeze that one in like we used to, and that was a no-go. This one I wanted to showcase, these are hard numbers to track down. Darren was trying to have somebody grab these. I just grabbed these on Google, so they might be estimates or not perfectly accurate, but I wanted to do a ratio of ridership versus enrollment, because ridership is high is one thing, but versus enrollment, even showcases how many kids that are enrolled are actually riding the bus. If you don't factor out 2020 in the spring, that puts it at 29%. The average of all the years of ridership is 11.3 rides per student. And then focusing that up the chart of the recent days, of the recent years, up 26% over the average, 21%, 36. So post-COVID. If you factor out 2020, 12.01 rides per student post-COVID, or on average, and then hitting about 100% back the first year after all the kids are back, 26%, 12%, and 17% up. So value. So I wanted to have that ratio for a while, and tried to do that. That is the end of the report. Great questions. Thank you.
Austin, can I talk?
Yep.
All right. I know that you had an agenda, so we're not talking off of agenda about staffing and operations. So you may be aware that Scott Navafeld, our facilities director, left employment at the beginning of the month to take a job in Chippewa County as the facilities director there. And so we have an opening for that position. And so we have been deciding how to create some efficiencies and create opportunities for growth. And so we have been negotiating with Austin to take over as our facilities, parks and transit director. So we will also create then sort of a middle layer of additional management support. He has the operations manager in transit. We'll create a operations lead in facilities. But Austin will oversee both departments. Soon, the 23rd.
They'll cut down on his driving the bus.
It will cut down on it.
I saw you the other day asking a hawk
Enough people honking.
So I don't know if, most people know, but Austin has a background as his education was in construction management. Construction. Is that what it's called?
Business management at Stout with a construction emphasis. And then I went into the business department for that construction company and then moved 6 times in a year for them. A few different job sites and an opportunity to move back.
Yeah, so he brings that knowledge base, as well as just being, creative and innovative and trying to do more with less. So we're excited to have him undertake that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Other than that, that is what I had for this meeting. More.
Any updates on this electrical?
I reached out to WisDOT on they haven't answered an email since November.
That's what I thought.
I said to WisDOT, but then the procurement director for WisDOT that was over this whole project that has seen it since 2018, retired. So these other representatives from WisDOT don't really know how bad it's gotten. I called, maybe it was before last meeting or after, I called Bay Area Transit, who has another 2 buses just like us. We were going to try to set up a call with WisDOT and all the other parties involved that are going through this. And hopefully I have a call and conversation before next meeting.
Okay.
But with that delay, last December I put in for us to get a conventional bus, small one, the same size as these, gas bus with our aging fleet. So there's more to come on that. They still haven't awarded agencies stuff for this year. Also put in for us to get the new camera systems. And I'm still waiting on that award, but you should get it.
So would that be a brand new bus or?
Yep. And when it's state funded like that, we pay 20%, they pay.
Oh, okay.
So just real quick, I know we've had conversations about this in the past as we were sorting through the electric bus situation, and obviously it's a mess trying to figure it out, but we're on top of our inventory or our fleet and not gonna get caught in a pickle where we need 6 of them at one time or anything like that, right? We're gonna continue to move forward and, okay.
Yeah, if we keep waiting.
I know we talked about it, and I know the 2 bigger city type buses that we picked up were kind of the patch through that. And
Yeah, it's just those get 15,000 miles a year between the stout ones that we had. The other ones get pounded on.
Yeah.
Because they're used for everything 5-6 days a week. So if we keep waiting, that will happen.
Yeah.
The shelf life on these buses is 200,000 miles, 7 years.
Yeah.
So one bus is gonna hit that in a year and a half. But if this one comes this year, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Then the other 2 are at 115,000, 126, or so.
Yeah.
So, we just gotta stay on top of it, but if we continue waiting, we will be in that situation.
All right.
Austin, remind me, who else is in it besides Bay Area? It's us and Bay Area, is there a couple more?
Yeah, there's, I think, Bad River Transit or Lacrosse counties. There's a couple other ones, but I think slowly
It's probably been melting off.
melting off. The 2 main receivers of
Was
this.
there one in Wausau?
Maybe Merrill Transit used to be in it, but I don't. It's it's something that you look at every 6 months when they finally respond.
Sure.
And a few are slowly left. So I'll have more on that next meeting though.
Sounds good. That's it, 7-0. Any other questions? Anything else from Austin? Nothing?
one more question.
Sure.
Is that, solar panels kind of been put on hold until we find more, so we're still planning on it in the future? but
Yep.
Nothing,
Yep, we still have a current, we're carrying forward every year on those, on our capital side. And, we still have that $160,000 grant sitting out there that was rewrote a year or two ago
okay,
to be fresh versus a 2018, 2019 grant. And, haven't moved forward with it because the goal was to, the buses are on the road during the day. They need to charge at night. Well, originally when this was set up as a grant, it was just panels, not like a battery harnessing system. So the goal was to add that. So we're not just selling electric back at wholesale to the grid.
Right.
So, and you can't know what the bus is gonna charge at until you get them here, in my opinion. So that would just,
But the upside in solar by keeping them in the bank is their prices have gone down and the water just go up.
technology's getting
It
better.
gets better. and
Every year, battery.
So,
That's the good thing about these electric buses, since we source them, their range is almost 50% better.
Yeah.
Since we started, so now they could probably make it through the whole day. Without coming in.
Anything else? All you want? Next meeting, July 9th, same place, same time, meeting adjourned.